Hello ladies and gentlemen, so in our last discussion we were able to create a Windows 11 bootable USB which you are going to use to install on a PC that does not meet the minimum system requirements. So we agreed that on our next discussion we are now going to do the installation, of which I've been looking for this particular type of a PC that does not meet these given requirements. So with me right here, I've got this HP EliteBook 8460p. It's a second generation. So it's a very low-end kind of PC. These are very old. You don't expect it to be able to run a Windows 11 kind of operating system. But remember, with your USB that we created, we're going to be able to do that. Just to make things a little bit smooth, I've decided to have it run on a 8 GB of RAM, so that at least you can somehow improve its performance and compatibility. So first thing first, with your computer, it could be a laptop or a desktop computer, you need to shut it down, and then you can go ahead and connect a USB. Have USB connected, you have Windows 11 bootable USB connected. So with the PC powered off and the USB connected, you are going to power on the computer again. But before you do that, you need to be aware of which keyboard key you are supposed to press, so that you can be able to access the boot menu, because this is something I was supposed to do immediately the computer powers on, so that we can stop it from booting normally the usual way, the way it boots from the internal storage. This time around we need it to boot from the bootable USB that we created, that is plugged in. So in my case, this being HP EliteBook 8460p, I believe that I'm supposed to press the F9 key. In your case, I don't know which your computer you're using. It could be F9, it could be F12, escape key. If you're not sure which key you're supposed to press, you can just do a Google search on your computer model. Go to Google and type the computer model boot menu key. So with that one in place, now we are going to power on our computer, and then just like I've told you, in my case I'm going to press F9. In your case, you can press the particular key that you found. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. So here's the boot menu. I've got several boot options. There's a list, but what I'm interested in is the USB hard drive. I'm going to select that one, and there we go. So press any key to boot from any USB, something else that you're supposed to do as quick as possible. Now what happens that your PC just confirms from you that you want to boot from the USB device that you've selected. So it's just a confirmation. So you need to press any key. So here we go. The system is trying to boot from the USB. So it's trying to gather all the details and necessary information from the USB, and the files and everything. So it may take some time depending on the speed of your computer performance and so many other factors. It's loading, it's loading, and these are very fast interface that you are going to get. So the process of installation is just very easy. So the language and the time currency, I don't have any much about this one, so I'm just going to click next. So here the keyboard and the input method, I'll go with the United States International. You can go with whichever you prefer. And then on this window, of course you want to do the installation, not repairing your PC. So agree to the terms. Agree to the terms and press next. If you've got a product key, that is if you did purchase these Windows, you can key the product key right there. But if you don't have it, you can just go ahead and agree to the term. And okay, at this point you're supposed to choose there's some various versions. The 11 Pro versions now. Personally, I'm used to either Pro or Pro N. So I'm going to click on that one, and then at this point you're supposed to agree on the terms, the licensing terms and everything. You can go through those terms. If you agree them, then press accept. frame. I think these are point where we usually do much about installing Windows. Yeah, I mean, you have done at this point, there's not any other complicated thing. In fact, here it's just a matter of creating some partitions and everything. You're just dealing with the partition, so you need to be aware of your hard drive, which kind of partition you want to retain, or which one you want to clear, want to delete, or maybe you just want to delete the whole partition. With this PC, it has got 1 terabyte, so there's several partitions in it. I think you can see got like the 97 GB, I think, where the previous Windows was installed. So I'm just going to clear all this partition. I'm just going to click on that given partition, like in this case partition 1, then delete the partition. So I'm going to delete all these partitions because I'm not interested. There's no any information or data that I'm trying to secure in this PC. So I'm just going to delete all of them. And as you can see now, disk 0 and allocated space is 931. Usually rounded off. So that is my 1 terabyte hard drive. The other one you're seeing, that is my USB that I'm connected in, and then the disk 1 allocated space. I don't know much about it. I don't know what it's doing there. So ladies and gentlemen, now that I've already cleared or deleted all the partitions that I had on this system, now I'm now going to recreate other new partitions. It's not really a must that you have so many partitions. You can even have 2. Some cases I've seen people are having only 1 partition, but I don't like doing that. It can be very risky, especially if your system ends up having some issues. I'd recommend you have like 2 or more partitions, so that we can have this basic partition whereby the operating system and the softwares are going to acquire the space, and then the other partition is where you can now save your own personal files like music, pictures, and videos. So one thing I also like to mention is that at least try to allocate enough space for the primary partition. That is where the the operating system is going to be installed. Because remember, apart from the operating system, any other software that we're going to be installing that you'll be installing in your system or your computer is also going to acquire the space from this given partition. This is something that you just have to decide for yourself. If you've got more than enough storage, then just give enough space. Like you can even go with 100 GB and above. But in my case, I think I'm going to allocate something like 250. Let me just allocate 250 for this partition. So to do that, it's very easy. I'm just going to click on this disk 0 and allocated space, and then I'm going to click on create partition. So under the size is MB. It is actually in MB. So to convert it into MB, that is to 50. I'm going to say like 55,000. It may take some time, but okay. So here we are. I've got to this 0 partition 2, that is 247. This way I'm going to install the operating system. Now apart from that, you can see that I've got this 0 unallocated space. This is 684. Now that is the remaining size of storage that I'm having after allocating the 250 to the other party, to the first partition. So this one I can just go ahead and create a whole partition from this one. As I told you, this 247, this way I'm going to now do the installation for the Windows 11. So you have to choose, you have to be aware of which partition you want to install the Windows, and that is the exact partition that you want to click on before clicking on next. Just trying to be ready to install. Keep nothing. Of course, I don't have any issue. I'm going to keep nothing, and then I'm going to say install. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. The Windows 11 is now being installed in our hard drive. As you can see, they're telling you that your PC will restart several times, and this might take a while. So expect your computer to restart itself. There's not much you're supposed to do at this point. You're just going to give it to do it to restart and do its own job. So our system has just restarted itself, and this time around we don't need to boot from the USB like we did on our first round. So we are just going to it's going to boot from the hard drive, and we don't need to do anything. So it's just going to allow it to boot from the hard drive, and we'll proceed now with the next steps. So there we go. So it's now doing another round of installation, and they're also indicating that your computer may restart a few times. So this is something that is very common with the Windows OS installation. Yeah, so it's like it makes changes to the system, and to put those changes into effect, it does the restarting of the system. We're just going to allow it to do the restarting and everything. After this point, we're going to just to make some few settings here and there. Then we'll be almost getting done with the installation. So I'll just speed up this video, but you need to be aware that this process usually takes some time. Seeing our system restarting itself again, so we're still going to let it boot from the hard drive. We're not going to boot out from USB. So by any chance, if the system asks you to press any key to boot from the USB, you don't need to press any key. You press any key and it's like you'll be restarting the process of the installation. So just don't, this time around you're not supposed to press any key. In fact, at this point you can even disconnect the USB, because now all of the system is now in the internal storage. So thing is just finalizing the installation, and then the next thing is going out to, we're going to make some few options and settings and complete the process. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. You're supposed to choose which country you are located in. If you're from the UK, you can go ahead and click yes. So is this the right keyboard layout? Okay. I usually go with the United States International, so I still go with that one. Yes. Just skip. I don't need any other additional keyboard layout. If you've got internet, you can go ahead and do the connection. For now, I don't need it. I just don't have internet. Here is where you're going to create your administrator account. Yeah, so this one I'm going to choose the name for the administrator account, and then password. If I want to apply password, you can do that, or I can do it later on, no problem. So I'm choosing to do it later on. Just going to accept all these privacy settings and many. And yeah, you're done. We're just getting things ready for you and everything, preparing the desktop. Yeah, so they're indicating that you shouldn't turn off your PC. Okay, so we are almost there, ladies and gentlemen. Voila, so we are done. So this is our desktop. Very first interface you are going to have on your PC. You can go ahead and do any other changes, like I usually like having the PC icon on my screen and some other things. To the themes, where are the themes? Scroll downwards, look for this PC desktop icons.